It was 1993 and grunge, techno and hip-hop were exploding. Except that neither I nor my faithful adventure companion Chris Maddews lived in the present. We were wild vintage kids from Rome, actually it was Brazilian and it was Milanese, and for us the time we were living was the late 60s and all the 70s. We usually spent a lot of time analyzing all live concerts, our vinyl albums and whatever reminded us of that era, because we definitely felt close to that world. I was a drummer at the time, but Chris, the guy that was going to be the drummer of the band, told me that I was born to be a singer. I was confused but curious at the same time, so I accepted this challenge. I was already a singer and a songwriter, but in fact I was studying drums. He changed my role, and he did well. We were dire fans of vintage music, but while Chris was the Doors addicted, I was more focused on Michael Jackson and Jimi Hendrix, till I met Queen and my heart found its own. The problem to start a band together was about our influences, because mixing two bands like them was impossible, so we started to experiment among ourselves, inventing melodies and poetic lyrics, trying to find a different kind of music instead of staying on our roots. We spent some years together trying to find the right direction for us and especially the right members to define the lineup. Finally start this conceptual project, so full of ideas and at the same time so utopian. Even the choice for the band name wasn't easy, but in the end I won the match. PrincesS was the right name in my opinion, because we should have to be beachy and commercial, but regal, refined, powerful and elegant at the same time. In the following years we continued to compose, moving from the initial The Doors style mood to a more metal one on one side, him, and more pop on the other, me, finding ourselves increasingly distant in composing. We tried some guitarists with poor results, and in the meantime we continued to compose different material, which I decided to group into cassettes, embellished with titles and covers as if they were actually produced albums. An idea that I called PrincesS Project. It would be our archive for the future. Finally, in 1997, we found the third long-awaited figure, Orlando Monteforte, a drummer born in Udine but living in Rome, promptly redirected by Chris to the bass, a talent for changing instruments to the band's future musicians, who promptly entered the project bringing his own composition, style and family band, Metallica and Iron Maiden, as well as the Queen. After several rehearsals together aimed at refining the harmony of the rhythm section, in which I participated very little, not playing any instruments, finally in 1998 Chris found the last element, Max Brodolini, a decidedly easygoing and energetic Roman bragger who, in addition to Queen, had Led Zeppelin as his musical love. It was done. We finally start to live like a normal band, and with our own goals, weekly rehearsals, songs to compose and learn to play as best as possible for future concerts, and a demo to record in the studio to present the product. However, a band that was not just a group of individuals sharing a common passion, also a sort of family, a fraternal ensemble with a fixed lineup, with the humble aim of conquering the world. Too bad that the dreams were soon shattered when the human element of one for all for one was replaced by something cold, detached and unhealthy. Chris began to lose his mental balance, going from best friend and perfect colleague to a mellifluous and paranoid strategist, chronic in line and anything but honest and balanced. We recorded our first demo called The Crown in the autumn of 1999 in a difficult climate to say the least, and we also managed to finally have our first concert shortly thereafter at the Cinecittà Village in Rome. We managed, but the limit was now past. After an unlivable and difficult to describe year, I found the strength to destroy everything. It was the end of 1999. It was the end of PrincesS. It was also a bit of our end, being exhausted from the experience that was as fast-paced as it was demolishing and exhausting. A few months later, Orlando also distanced himself clearly, suddenly and definitively from that boy who had now become an unlivable and incurable nightmare.